Okay.
Call the February meeting to order, pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And I'd like to have everybody remain standing for a moment of silence in remembrance of the life of Jim Needham, who passed away on February 13th. Our hearts go out to his family. Okay, thank you.
Councilman Needham, Councilman Barnaby. Here. Supervisor Runyon,
Here.
Councilman Brown,
Here.
Councilman Galusha.
Here.
And I'd like to open the meeting up then for privilege of the floor, if anyone would like to speak. And we'll move on to resolutions. The first resolution is to approve the abstract 2 claims for 2026. Will someone bring that to the floor? Ed, okay, and a second. Eugene, thank you. Does anyone have any questions or discussion on any of the bills in the abstract? The total of abstract 2 for the general fund, February 18th, is $201,321.06. And I wanted to let you know $170,000 of that is our payments to the fire department and the Warrensburg EMS. And the total of abstract 2 for the highway fund for February 18th, 2026 is $240,631.13, and $158,732 was for the truck payment that was due this month, for total claims of $441,952.19. Okay, so any discussion, or are you ready to vote? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, so that passes. Sorry. This is gone. The second resolution is to authorize the supervisor to submit a grant application for the 25-26 volunteer fire infrastructure and response equipment grant. There's a copy of it in your packet. I did speak with Barbara. First, we'll bring it to the floor. Randy, and a second.
Who seconded it?
Eugene.
Eugene? Okay.
Okay. Whereas there's a funding opportunity for a volunteer fire department grant that a municipality can apply for on behalf of our local volunteer fire department, and whereas I have met with the president, Barbara Baker, and discussed this opportunity, and she is in agreement that we should apply for the grant in the hope of supplying the fire department with PPE, washer dryer extractor, or some other type of equipment that would qualify for the grant. Be it resolved, the Thurman Town Board hereby authorizes the supervisor to submit a grant application on behalf of the Thurman Volunteer Fire Department. Does anybody have, I know you just all received, well, you got it via email,
Yeah, I
didn't
read
you?
it out.
Yeah, okay.
I received. I skimmed through it real quick. I didn't see any place, is this a matching grant or is it just a flat out grant?
I don't think it's matching, I think it's a flat out grant. We've had this before in the past, but the fire department didn't want me to apply. But, you know, it lists over here what it qualifies for. It can be used for other things, but when we talked, it was the washer dryer equipment that she would like us to go for. I still have to research how much it's going to be so I can fill the form out correctly. There are several companies that supply them. Yeah, if they can get it. February, it was $137,948.26. So it's about 1,700 more than the fourth quarter last year. And I forgot to do the reports from the liaisons, but I did hear from Lawrenceburg EMS that they handled 11 calls in Thurman for the month of January. So,
11? 11, you said?
11, yeah.
I have nothing from the courthouse, so.
Okay.
Everything's running about the same at the transfer, the only problem is we're starting to find debris on the roadway again. Highway boys picked up some furniture down on Vice Road. I found a set of tires on Don Powder Road and two tires on the dump road. So it's still an ongoing thing, you know,
Yeah.
and I don't know what we can do about it. I suppose we could go through and look at our resolution and see where we stand, but how are we gonna catch these people? You have a problem on your road, by your place all the time, you know, people see it side the road, but nobody seems to turn them in.
Well, I don't have any
But
cameras.
my thing was, when they do say something, nothing gets done about it anyways,
Yeah.
which is sad. Something should be done, because it costs the taxpayers money when we have to pick them up.
We should be able to do something about it.
Without cameras.
It's hard to catch them.
Yeah, it's
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Like our road's 2 miles long.
I
If you
know.
do use cameras, where are you gonna put them?
One
Right.
summer,
I mean,
one
there's-
summer when I had my work program, we took like 3 1-tons out of that deep hole you had there by Denny's, you know, in 1 year.
Yeah.
I'm open for suggestions, if anybody's got any suggestions on what we can do.
It's hard to monitor.
Patrolling it,
So
I mean, you
rural.
have to,
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, it's sad though.
And if you're on the road to dump, you can easily tell if a car's coming, so
Mhm.
that's a problem too. I know down off the edge of Charlesville, there's so many tires all the time down there.
Charlie will get killed,
Yeah, the more rural.
bike road, the big.
And it's not even that
I'm
much.
open for suggestions though, let me know, got any ideas? Last year we took in a lot of tires, highway boys down for us.
Yeah.
A massive, what was that, a hot tub up on Mud Pond Road, I mean, that thing was
I
huge.
think where Austin and Jimmy Smith used to live.
Took about half a tub, you know, half a tote when they brought that thing down.
Wow.
It's expensive to get rid of that stuff, we have to pay for it.
Yeah. Randy,
I talked to Brett, and the only thing he told me was that he did get a call on some feral cats, but the town doesn't handle feral cats.
right,
He informed me that the way the state looks at them as if they're a wild animal, the only thing they can do, which they don't usually do, but they can round up the cats, take them, have them spayed, neutered, and then they just return them. So they don't really, there's no shelters take them, there's really nothing to do with them. He did last month, on behalf of the SPCA, he checked out the property up on Mountain Road, and other than that, he has not gotten any other calls.
oh, that's good, that's good news.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I have for the meeting.
I have something.
Okay.
Kathy Templeton, she gave me a letter to read. I, Kathy Templeton, am respectfully stepping down, effectively removing myself from the Board of Assessment Review for the town of Thurman, effective immediately. That was January 21st. And Sarah Hall also does not want to serve anymore. So you need to get on that, because we need people by May. So,
If I may,
yeah. And then another thing, because you were just talking about cats, one of the classes I took had to do with dog licensing and shelters and all that, and I got a card of some real good people to talk to, and apparently the town board can pass a local law to make a DCO and ACO so they can deal with cats. What else they can deal with, I'm not sure, but I do have a good contact person now, so.
When you say DCO, ACO, what do you mean?
DCO, that's a dog control officer.
Oh, okay.
But an ACO, an animal control officer, can do cats. Whether they can do other things, I don't know, but then there's some sort of a farm bureau that takes care of, yeah, but,
It sounded like when I talked to Brett that even if he had the ability to pick them up, there's no place that'll take them.
I don't know. This woman talked a lot about shelters, so I thought it was a good idea to get her card. So I was going to call her and ask some more questions because I was just kind of curious. 'Cause I know we sometimes have problems here with, animals not being treated right. And
Isn't there a North Shore animal shelter that takes cats? North Shore, I think, is one. I don't know, but we can look into that. Although I don't think cats stay strays very long around here. They usually get taken.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it was interesting, and I think she was very compassionate too.
Did he say where those cats were at?
I don't think he did, no.
There's a lot of them in the highway there. The place he was talking about, I've seen a lot of them there, not in the winter, but summer months.
He said to me that the state views feral cats as wild animals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I've heard that.
I had 15 of them on my property.
15?
Well, between mine and my neighbors, it was 15 of them, I was counting.
Wow.
And they were breeding in the backyard, but then
Oh.
spring came and they just disappeared.
Wow.
I have one. I have one that moved in,
Now it's a pet.
and he's spraying all. It's a boy because he's spraying all over the place.
We have heart traps if you want to catch
But
them.
I have 4 barn cats, and I'll catch them.
Oh, yeah, you might.
If I can catch them, I'll get them fixed on my own and just keep them. But
Anything else? I just have a question on a couple of things.
Yeah, did anyone else want to speak at all before we close it up? Okay.
I just wanted to ask,
Okay.
Last meeting was mentioned about the potential observatory and the pavilion, and I was just wondering what the status of that was. Where does that stand? What are we doing with it?
I want to proceed with both things,
Okay.
yeah.
Are we gonna bring a resolution to the board to?
Yeah, I think I might wait till Doug is back to do that though, if that's okay. So he could vote too, because it was his idea to do the pavilion, so I think he,
Okay.
and we could do a resolution, for them.
John?
Mm-hmm.
Is that funding coming out of the ed tax money or is
Yes.
it funding for both?
Yes, and also, I did apply for funding from the county as well. Additional funding besides what we already have. Mhm.
So I was wondering how these will, what do I wanna say? Add to our brand within the county. Is that something that would be good for the county tourism board to advertise?
I think the observatory definitely will. They seem very excited about it at the county. So I meet with them next week and find out our funding. We'll probably be voting on that at the March meeting.
So I presume you'll have to develop some kind of plan to budget.
Oh yeah, it will require, well, the building doesn't require an engineer. It's an already built building, sort of like the ones for Free Store and the one at the transfer
Oh,
station.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, that one's small, but the pavilion will require engineering costs and,
Sure.
a pretty good size cement slab, and it will be pretty involved, yeah.
Engineering and architect too, I presume.
Yeah,
So the pavilion, I presume we're putting up here at Garfield.
yes,
Where are we proposing to site the observatory?
up above, where the highway garage will be, up above the transfer station, near where that shed is. There's a metal shed up there, there's a fenced-in area and some empty land up there.
Do we have anybody that has expertise with observatories that's looking at this? Because I know sighting of it.
Well,
and-
that's a pretty dark area up there. People already go there with telescopes. We do have there was one gentleman that came when we did the stargazing event up at the rec field with the youth,
Mhm.
and he brought his telescope. He does a lot of astrophotography, so he's interested in having classes and doing things with it.
And you said the garage is gonna be built up there eventually, the
Yes.
town garage? Won't there be, like, isn't that area gonna be lit with the town garage there? I know it's lit now. And if you have lights there for the garage, won't that affect?
Well, I think if someone was gonna use the observatory, we could turn them lights off, just like they asked us to turn the lights off here, the outside lights here, when they did the telescopes, not with the youth, but there's people that use it, they call and ask us to shut these bright lights off when they're up there.
So the building is gonna be used only occasionally?
The observatory, well, it won't be open all the time, it'll be used for events or when people request it.
How will we supervise or regulate it? Like if it's gonna be open, will there be a town employee there supervising it? Or how will we open and close it? How will we manage it? What are we gonna do for maintenance and all the other issues that go along with a building like that? Once it's built, are we gonna have occupancy tax money available to do all the maintenance, the management of it, the marketing of it? I mean, if I understood you correctly at the last meeting, you were talking about using this as a way to generate income to
Mhm.
offset some of our expected tax revenue losses. I mean, do we have like any projections on like how many people we're gonna get, how much we can charge for this, how much we're gonna make off of it?
I don't know, it might just be fun.
I do know that, when I spoke to someone from tourism, I could be requesting funds throughout more years, not just the one time. And I think that there's not much maintenance really to it. It's just a building where the roof slides to the side and someone being up there. I mean, if we could find somebody that was trustworthy to have the key, you know.
There's been a couple of people of interest that have said something in the landfill that do astronomy, that live local, that would be interested in helping. I figured we could draw them in as you get your drive up north.
Yeah, once I know
We'll
it's a
invite them
definite,
to a
you
board
know,
meeting there.
yeah.
So if you're
What
gonna
are
have
the
a,
long-term plans for that site up there? I mean, they got a town garage. You're gonna do transfer station, obviously, but are we gonna be able to develop a landfill again, or is that pretty much?
Oh no, as far as a landfill, that is going to be closed. We're now in the 5th year, I think, of a 10-year plan for closure.
Right,
And we're obligated to put $50,000 a year aside to come up with $500,000 at the end of that 10-year period so that we can afford to close it. It's going to be capped. And what they had discussed with us is a cheaper way of doing it. They would be pushing it all in to make it be able to be capped with one piece of, I don't know what you call that, membrane.
Membrane.
Yeah.
The state said we could shrink it up to 1 acre. We have one membrane, still gonna need wells so they can monitor it. But at least we won't have to seal any of the seams. And they were pretty impressed with it when they were up. Pat was there, Debbie was there, our other engineers. They were pretty happy with what it was.
anyway, I was just kinda spinning here, but there's quite a bit to develop up there with all these things
Yeah.
going on.
Well, if
To
you've
make
been
it
there, you
make
see how
sense,
much
you
is
know.
cleared now. There's a lot cleared, you know, where you can see the mountains and a lot of trees were removed there.
Yeah, no, it's
It's
beautiful.
beautiful.
To Wendy's point, think about the situation of different buildings and lights and such, and access too. You know.
so if we're talking about having events, then that's groups of people. Are we gonna be providing restrooms? I mean, if we're gonna have people there, almost seems like we have to have
I assume they're already. Yeah.
You mean a porta?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what we had, that's it.
Well, I'm just
I
thinking.
know, I'd like to see something different too, but.
But that's something to be maintained.
Yes.
Especially if you're gonna have public up there, it's gotta be pretty clean,
Well, if the garage is gonna be up there, there's gotta be restrooms, right?
right?
Or-
And then when this garage isn't utilized, I'm hoping to be able to have that water moved to the youth building, and we'd have that restroom and that kitchen up there available.
So
I did
you
try.
Still put the pavilion up on the hill here.
It's gonna be up on the hill, yeah.
And keep that concert series going and that kind of business, but maybe develop it more.
Have you, or who, I know you've talked about, you talked about hockey teams
Yeah.
and the skating rink and Girl Scout troops. Who specifically have you talked to about coming? I mean, I know there's a hockey team or the hockey rink in Glens Falls,
Mhm.
and I know different hockey teams go there. Have you discussed this with any of these other teams or one of these teams specifically?
I've discussed it with, I don't remember his last name, his name is Dean, he works for the county, and he was interested in helping us set it up and also to do the hockey. And Josh Hayes, he also works with people that do hockey, he's at the, arena down in Glens Falls for the hockey teams.
Now, you plan on charging people for that?
Teams, we could charge teams to come and use it, yeah, but for average, individual residents to go skating, I don't think we should charge them.
Like, because
Yeah.
a lot of the neighboring towns have free skating. We've got a skating rink now, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Is it set up yet?
Well, Victoria did want to set it up, but the ground's not level enough, and if you set it up and that ground moves, it's just not good to set it up until you have a base, like a concrete base to put it on, so it stays flat and level.
What about the basketball court? Is that concrete or is that
Concrete.
blacktop? What is it?
No, I think is it blacktop?
Could that be used?
It could, but I don't think it's big enough. This, ice rink is, I think it's, 50 by 70 or 80, whatever the legal size is for a hockey, it's big. So I don't think it will fit on the basketball court.
Just, I'd like to see some sort of definite projection as to
Okay.
what is expected as far as income from this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you mentioned different groups that'd be interested. I know the Girl Scout troops, I mean, they don't have money to spend on big events. So I
Well, they're
just-
coming in this year, like Victoria told me she's working with the Girl Scouts on their own private archery up there, so
Okay, are
there's
they paying,
potential.
is the Scouts paying for it?
I don't know what arrangements she made,
Yeah,
but,
I mean, Scouts are nonprofit. I don't imagine the troops or whatever they are have that much money to spend. I just
I don't know.
wonder specifically what you've got in mind as far as having them come to the town.
Yeah, I haven't, that's all in the works, who we charge, how much. I mean, first we have to know we're gonna be able to do it.
Right, potential income's one thing, but what is the cost, the outlay to build this and to
Mhm.
maintain it?
Mm-hmm.
I suppose we could use, develop, highway workers to do the maintenance for it. Some kind of part-time jobs around that, but that's, what I'm more interested in is what the expenses are on this.
Mm-hmm.
As a
Because
board
it could
member,
be a lost leader, just a community service kind of thing.
I mean, as a board member, that's my primary concern is if we're gonna get into these projects, what is the realistic expectation of revenue that we will receive? What is the actual expenses we expect to encounter? Because it seems like every time we talk about projects, whether it's these two or other ones, we're always talking about, well, if we do this, we've got volunteers, we got people doing this, people doing that. And it sounds like we're expecting people to just step up and volunteer their time. And my concern is I've seen this happen in other communities. Warrensburg had a hockey rink for years, and it was a tremendous amount of work to maintain that. It's not just flood it with water and walk away. There's a lot of work involved in maintaining a hockey rink, and if we're suddenly faced with we don't have a volunteer workforce to do it, then we're going to be paying town employees to do it. So now it's going to come out of taxpayer coffers. So, I mean, before we jump into things like this, I'd like to see some actual projection of what the income's going to be, what the attendance is going to be, what the costs are associated with it, and I mean everything that we expect it to that we're going to encounter. And keeping in mind that if we're going to use occupancy tax for these, then it has to be for the benefit of tourism. It can't be, the primary benefit can't be to the residents. Not that I don't think residents should be able to use the observatory or the skating rink, that we should be able to, but if we're going to use occupancy tax, the purpose has to be to benefit tourism. So, I mean, those are my primary concerns about doing something like this.
You're talking about a business plan.
Essentially, yes. I mean, sit down, crunch the numbers, you know, who do we expect to use it? How are we going to market it to them? How are we going to get people here? How much are we going to charge them? How much revenue do we expect to take in? What are the actual expenses? How are we going to operate it effectively? Somebody has to maintain it, man it, be there when things are going on. There's all sorts of incidental costs that we're not even thinking about right now. I mean, the town has an insurance policy, but when you start adding things like this onto it, I'm sure that gets back into insurance. If we're going to use a porta-john, all of a sudden now you have to pay for disposal of the waste. You're going to need some heated facilities for people to go in, warm up, change. There's a lot of costs, I think, that are associated with projects like this that we need to kind of do a little deeper dive into what it's going to actually cost us to do it. And that's not to say that that means I'm opposed to it. It just means if we're going to suggest that we're going to profit off of these and it's going to go into the town coffers, we need to go into it with our eyes wide open so that we know what we're getting into. I just hate to see us dump a lot of money into something, saddle us with two projects that all of a sudden now are actually costing taxpayer money.
Well, that's the point I want to look at, Randy, is what are the expenses? Generating income off of it, there's no guarantee there, but the expenses of operating it.
Those are guaranteed.
Well, the building is heated, the youth building's heated all the time, it's heated right now. So we have that, hopefully we have the water in there. I did try to get the health department to allow us to tap off the highway because we're not using that much water, but they still won't allow it.
The other thing to consider is the weather. This has been a good ice year,
Mm-hmm.
but there have been a few years in the past where it wasn't so hot.
Well, just look at the whole ice castles escapade down in Lake George, where they dumped $3 million into that, and
And it just,
it melted.
It melted, yeah, that was
Yeah.
bad. That wasn't a very cold winter.
so you're captive to the weather.
You are. And if you're going to attract teams and you're going to sell them ice time, what happens when they show up and it's liquid water instead of ice on top? I mean, those are things we have to think about. I mean, you can't guarantee that we're going to be able to
Put
provide.
some roller skates out.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
You know, studded roller skates, Ed. So, yeah.
Well, it also opens up the summer concerts to be rain or shine, because they'll be able to play under that, and it opens up a
Yeah.
dance floor area.
Don't get me wrong.
Thanks.
I've believed right from the beginning the pavilion that we have is inadequate for the kind of things we want to do. It's the design of it and the way it's situated with where we put the band. It's not appropriate. So,
It was
you know,
good 20 years ago.
I'm not opposed to, you know, a new pavilion that's better designed, better arranged, whatever. I'm very skeptical, to be honest with you, about doing anything for a skating rink, just because I know from firsthand experience with friends that were directly involved in maintaining hockey rinks, they're an enormous amount of work. I mean, enormous amount of work. You're talking about when kids aren't skating, somebody's standing up there at 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night when it's cold enough, flooding the ice to get enough water on there to get it to freeze. You know,
Or cleaning up after a snowstorm, or.
Yep, cleaning up after a snowstorm or after people have skated on it a lot, it chews the ice up and you have to either flood it or clean it or whatever. I was just gonna say, we're not gonna buy a Zamboni. Those are $1 million pieces of equipment.
The ice rink did come with a groomer. I don't know what that really does, but we did get one.
So, I mean, I just think there's a lot to think about before we jump headfirst into projects like this. I just don't wanna see us get into a boondoggle, so.
Is there any other discussion? Okay, well, Doug isn't here, so I guess,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
okay.
I'll second
Favor
it.
say aye.
Aye.
Holy cow, we're gonna be home before dark.
Ed, you seconded it, right?
Yes.
My phone isn't working.
You too, Ed.
Yeah.
Still got electrical problems.
But
If we're in the money.